What's up, my friends, and welcome into the PHLY Phillies podcast. As always, brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use that promo code above my shoulder, PHLY365. Deposit $10, place a bet for just $5, and you get $150 back in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. You can find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Hello to you. An early start today as we get you set for the Phillies and the Baltimore Orioles. I guess Major League Baseball decided that they were going to play super early today. So we decided, let's go along with them. So not only are we going to start about 25 minutes earlier, but we are going to go the length of the hour into the 1 o'clock hour as well. So instead of an hour pod today, you've got us. When I say us, I mean myself, Tyler Zulli, Andrew Frazier, and the game for just under an hour and a half, almost a 90-minute pod today. So we'll have some fun with a watch-along with the Phillies and the Baltimore Orioles. We'll go through the game. We'll talk about what's happening. Ranger Suarez gets the ball today for the Phils. He'll be opposed by Trevor Rogers. Rangers just finishing up his warm-up tosses now. We'll talk about the game, the lineup, how this series has played, and all of that here today. So we've got about 90 minutes to do things today. Let's jump right into things. The first thing that I wanted to talk about before we get into today's game is kind of dissect yesterday's game. We had an opportunity to talk about Christopher Sanchez in his start on Sunday night against the Tigers, but we haven't had a chance to talk a whole lot about this series so far, other than the conversation about Kyle Schwarber, which continues to grow, and that story about him being a potential MVP type of candidate continues to grow. But the first game, Monday night's game, was an absolute slugfest for the Phils. They score 13 runs. Schwarber homers twice. He drives in 6. The Phillies offense really just churning, and it was a pretty easy win. Yesterday's game felt like it was more of the unsung heroes who provided a lot of the spark for the Phillies, both offensively and on the pitching side, right? Offensively, Max Kepler homers, he drives into. Brandon Marsh homers, he drives into. It was really like the bottom of the lineup that provided a lot for the Phillies yesterday. But where I want to start, and this is a guy we've talked about quite a bit over the last season, but we kind of have fallen off on talking about him since his role has fluctuated, is Taijuan Walker. If you asked me what my expectations were for Taijuan Walker heading in to the 2024 or 2025 season, I would have told you nothing. Point blank, my answer would have been nothing. My answer would have been, I would not be shocked if the Phillies finally decide that a year and a half is enough time with the money involved to feel comfortable eating salary and moving on from Taijuan Walker. I didn't know what his role was going to be. Was he going to be a fifth starter? Was he going to come out of the bullpen? Was he a long man? Well, he's done all of those things. He's pitched as a starter. He's pitched in long relief. He's pitched as a, medium leverage type of reliever. And for the most part, Taijuan Walker has been pretty good. He's pitched to a 3.53 ERA this year. He's made 24 appearances, 13 starts. He went 6 scoreless innings yesterday against the Baltimore Orioles. He's 4-5 with a 3.53 ERA. He's not going to strike out a ton of hitters. He only has 60 strikeouts over 79 innings. His whip, though, has been much better. Last year, in 19 appearances, over 83 innings, he had a 1.72 whip. And you're talking about a guy who, statistically, last season was one of the worst pitchers in all of baseball. If you look at his baseball savant page, he was in the first percentile, which is the worst that you can be, in expected ERA, expected batting average, exit velocity, whiff percentage, barrel rate, pitching run value, fastball run value, off-speed run value. And he was in the 10th percentile or worse, 13th percentile or worse in chase rates, K rates, hard hit rates, extension, which, that's subjective. I think it's about how much you get down the mound. The point being is Taijuan Walker last season was legitimately one of the worst pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. And for a guy that has been asked to do so many different things this year, I have to tip my cap and give him a lot of credit. He's been a pretty consummate professional and has been way better than my expectations. This year, his walk rates are sizably better. Last year, he had a 9.7% walk rate. This year, he's down to 7.4%. That goes from the bottom 10 percentile to the 63rd percentile. Last year, his hard hit percentages were 46.3%. This year, he's down to 39%. He goes from the 3rd percentile to the 64th percentile. Last year, barrel rates were in was 13.4%, literally in the 1st percentile, as bad as you could possibly be. This year, he's cut that number in almost half. He's at 7.2%. And over the last 3 starts that he has made, Taijuan Walker has pitched 16 2/3 innings. He's gone 5 2/3, 5 and 6 last night against the Orioles. He's given up just 5 earned runs, which is good for a sub-3 ERA. Right? Is that math correct? Sorry, sub-4 ERA. 5 earned runs over, as I said, 16 2/3 innings pitched. Again, he's not going to strike a lot of guys out. Going to keep the ball he's done a better job of keeping the ball in the yard this season. He gave up 3 home runs against the Yankees. All 3 were solo shots. He gave up 2 home runs against the White Sox. Both were solo shots. So all 5 of the earned runs he gave up came on the long ball, but you can live with it when there's solo home runs. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, Taijuan Walker has found the fountain of youth by any means. But the things that he did poorly last year have all kind of gone in the right direction. Average exit velocity is down almost 2 miles an hour or over 2 miles an hour. Expected batting average is down almost 40 points. Expected slug is down almost 80 points. Hard hit percentage is down over 7%. Strikeout rate is up almost 2.5%. Walk rate is down almost 2.5%. And the ERA is down 3.5 points. He's literally cut his ERA in half from last year to this year. And yesterday, when I was, logging the game on the PHLY Twitter account, as I typically do, I tweeted out his numbers. And I said, he's pitching really well tonight. And the first comment that I got back was, yeah, but the Orioles stink. And I said, yeah, the Orioles do stink this year. Their offense has not been very good. Underwhelming season from guys like Adley Rutschman. Underwhelming season from a lot of the young players that you expected bigger years from. Jackson Holliday's only hitting 250. Gunnar Henderson's been awesome. He's still hitting 285, but Rutschman's hitting 233. Colton Cowser hitting 215. Kobe Mayo hitting 209. They had a guy in their lineup last night in Dylan Carlson who was hitting just about 200 when the game began. There's no question about it. It's been an underwhelming, poor season for the Baltimore Orioles. But my immediate thought was, well, the inverse is worse, right? What do you want him to do? He's only pitching against the teams he can pitch against. And the inverse of that conversation is, yes, well, the Baltimore Orioles stink, but he tossed 6 shutout innings, is the Baltimore Orioles stink and Taijuan Walker pitched poorly. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Taijuan Walker deserves a playoff start, or I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's been some kind of revelation for this team. But for a guy who's been jostled around between bullpen, long relief, starting rotation, back to the bullpen, back to the rotation, I have to give credit where credit is due. Taijuan Walker's had a very fine season. And if that's your 5th starter, if it's a guy who's going to give you 5 or 6 innings every night and he's going to, give up 2 or 3 earned runs, that's the type of guy who's a 5th starter is going to keep you in games, especially knowing that you've traded Mick Abel, knowing that Aaron Nola has been hurt for a majority of the season at this point, knowing that Andrew Painter has had some struggles in AAA. He struggled again last night, and it really felt last night, if you look at his numbers and look at the command issues that he was facing last night, it felt like that was one of his poorer starts in AAA, even with the numbers being what they are throughout the season. I got to give Taijuan Walker credit. He's been a pretty fair stabilizer for this team. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the world is shattered by Taijuan Walker starts, but I think he's been fairly good. And let's welcome in our second member of today's program, our producer, our co-host, Andrew Frazier, to today's show. Andrew, I started with Taijuan Walker because I believe in transparency and accountability. And, we do a lot of B and C in this industry. It's kind of part of our job when guys aren't playing well. I think we should do the same when guys are performing. I think Taijuan Walker's been fairly good the last couple of weeks as the Phillies' 5th starter.
Oh, man, 100%. he gets in there and does the job. What more can you ask from him? We knew what he was going into this season, and he's really outperforming what we thought he was going to be. And the fact that he can go as far as he did yesterday with 4 strikeouts and shutout game, it's fantastic. I mean,
and I'm not asking him to be a high strikeout guy.
No.
I don't think any of us are. So,
No, we're not.
You know, again, 60 strikeouts over just under 80 innings. He's going to get you about 3 or 4 a start.
Yeah.
But I'm not even asking him to do what he did last night, which was I think that what we saw last night was when Taijuan Walker's at his best at this point of his career is keeps hitters off balance. He has a 5-pitch arsenal. The cutter is moving in the zone. He's locating well. Splitter has always been probably his best pitch. Last year, it was like legitimately one of the single worst pitches in all of baseball. This year, it's been much better.
Dreadful.
But, he's a keep guys off balance type of starter. He doesn't throw hard. He's not going to blow you away with any kind of velocity or crazy breaking ball. But when he's at his best, he's giving you 5 or 6 good innings and keeping guys off balance, limiting hard contact, and keeping the ball in the yard. And that's what he did last night.
Yeah, and, going into the playoffs, he's going to be a great guy coming out of the pen to help you out, to chunk some innings and stuff like that.
If you would have told me at the beginning of the season that Taijuan Walker was going to make the Phillies postseason roster, I would have said something went wrong because of how bad he was last year.
But now you're like...
I think he's probably at this point, he may have earned himself a postseason roster. Maybe not in the wild card round because it's only 3 games. And I don't think you need as many, like multiple inning guys. And I think you'll slide one of the starters into the bullpen. But getting towards the DS, and specifically if they get to the CS, if I asked you have one roster spot and it's Taijuan Walker or it's Joe Ross, I don't think there's any question.
There's no question about that. Yeah, Taijuan Walker is definitely taking that spot.
And that's probably where it is because to me it's your 3 ace or your 3 top of the line starters: Wheeler, Sanchez, Suarez.
Mm-hmm.
Nola is probably in the. I would say may get a start. Right?
Yeah, he'll be your game 4.
And then Luzardo is your swing guy.
Exactly. Yep.
And then I think you're talking about probably 2 roster spots for. My guess would be Walker. Lazar is in the conversation. Does he make the team? Does he not? Because you would think you've got, right, the back end of the bullpen solidified. You're going to go Duran, Kerkering, Strahm, Banks, Robertson is 5. And then you are thinking about who's the last guy, and then probably Lazar is 6, I would guess.
Yeah.
And then maybe... then the last guy would come down to Walker.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
I don't know if you just saw, but Bryce almost took the head off of the ball.
I saw that.
The ball girl.
That is a dangerous spot to sit when Harper rips the ball down the line like that.
Man.
and you know what's funny? Like, I don't blame her for getting out of the way. We talked about that with Schwarber yesterday. Like, I don't blame her for getting out of the way of that.
No, I'm not trying to make a play on that. No way.
All right, so let's give you a little bit of an update on what's going on in the game so far. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Ranger Suarez. A leadoff walk by Trey Turner. Kyle Schwarber hits into a double play. Bryce Harper shoots the ball through the hole in that 5.5 hole. So now you got a runner on first with Nick Castellanos up.
Come on, Nick.
There is right now there's a feel of the team, and again, I know they're playing Baltimore. Baltimore stinks. You're going to play a better team in Texas this weekend.
Yeah, of course.
You're going to start to play some better teams in the stretch of August where you get Seattle and you've got to play the Reds, and you still have 7 games against the Mets and the Brewers for another series. But there's starting to be a feel of like this team is playing some good ball like over the last like week or so.
Definitely.
I know they lose the series to the White Sox, but like the way that they've played in this series against the Orioles is the way that they can beat you in a multitude of ways. That's why when we talked about the ceiling of this team versus the floor of this team, it is a large discrepancy. But the ceiling of this team still is a legitimate, bona fide, deep playoff caliber type of team.
Yeah, definitely. Just like golf, when you can get all 3 of your golf games together or 4, they're showing what they can do, and that is what the Phillies are doing. the last couple of games when it was the game one, when it was the blowout game
Mhm.
with Schwarber, the grand slam, all that stuff, and then yesterday watching the pitching and watching how they can just stop you in pitching. And then you got the bats going and the pitching going on this team with the Phillies. Man, they are unstoppable.
Well, and that's something that we're going to talk about later in the show. Is we've made mention about the teams in the National League and why it feels so wide open. Is there seems to be a glaring hole, or I shouldn't say glaring because all these teams are good. There seems to be a pretty sizable hole with a lot of the playoff contenders in the National League right now.
They're huge.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. Because we were going through the numbers, Andrew, and we'll talk about the Mets specifically in just a little bit. The Mets starting rotation is having some trouble right now. And we'll talk more about that on the other side. We got to get into our Ace Hardware temp check. We have to do our Future is Bright segment. We're going to get into all of that. We'll continue with our Phillies watch along. Nick Castellanos strikes out to end the inning. No runs scored in the first inning. But we'll do all of that. We're going to talk about strength of remaining schedule. That's the beauty of this watch along today. We've got a lot to digest in an hour and a half instead of our typical hour. So we'll do that all on the other side. It's the PHLY Phillies podcast brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. We'll tell you more about Bet365 and a couple of our other friends on the other side right after this on the PHLY Phillies podcast. All right, let me tell you about Bet365, and you'll find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Whatever the moment, you'll find out for good reason. And 90 million users can't be wrong, right? Like 90 million users worldwide have found out that they offer 780,000 live streamed events each and every year, and they are the pioneers of live in-game betting. And it's not just baseball. You can live in-game bet right now if you want. You can get in on all the action with Philly and Baltimore as this game is unfolding, right? But you can live bet 78 different sports. So all hours of the day, any given time, a live event is happening and you can get in on the live action. And how about this? With MLB early payout, if your team is up by 5 runs at any point in the game, your bet is going to be marked as a winner on straight bets and parlay selection marked as a winner. You're going to get an instant payout. You don't have to worry about, is the other team going to make a comeback? Are you going to have to worry about any kind of late inning heroics? If you'd have bet the hometown team on Monday night, you'd have won. You didn't have to worry about the rest of the game because they ended up winning the game by 10. You'd ended up being totally fine. And how about this? New users now get $150 back in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to use the promo code PHLY365, deposit $10, place a bet for just $5, and get $150 back in bonus bets, whether you win or lose. And that bonus bet money can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, so much more. You'll find out why. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, you got an outlet you said you wanted to fix last summer. Ace Hardware Home Services has the person to help you because they're not just the helpful hardware folks. They're also the helpful hardware, home service, and repair folks as well. But if it's something more serious, like plumbing, electrical, heating, cooling, they've got the trusted pros that are going to keep your home humming all year long. They bring the helpful hardware folks directly to your front door. It's that helpful that you love from the store all the way from Philly to the Jersey Shore. I know that we've had a little bit of a dip in temperature, but don't get fooled. We still have more summer to come, and that's where Ace is going to come into play if your AC is not blasting as, on full tilt as much as you want it to be. What does Ace bring you? They bring experience. They bring understanding. They're going to listen to your goals, and the job is not complete until you're satisfied. They bring that helpful hardware, folks, feel right to your front door. They offer you free estimates on equipment installation and replacements with trusted advisors and options that are best suited for you, your home, and your budget. And of course, it's service you can trust and satisfaction guaranteed. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project today. All right, welcome back to the PHLY Phillies podcast. Tyler Zulli, Andrew Frazier, and of course, a hello to you, everybody that's in the chat. Thank you so much for being a part of today's show. We really appreciate you. Let's get into our Ace Hardware Temp Check segment today. Our Ace Hardware Temp Check segment, of course, is brought to you, as we just made mention, by our friends at Ace Hardware and Ace Hardware Home Services. Head on over to acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project today. Let's get the temperature surrounding the Phillies starting rotation, and specifically the temperature surrounding one Zack Wheeler. Now, Wheeler said after his last start that he felt some shoulder stiffness, was feeling a little bit more sore than he typically does. The Phillies, kind of reactively, what was the word I'm looking? Proactively went and sent him to get imaging done. Imaging came back clean, so there's no structural damage or anything like that. But he is going to get pushed back his start 2 days. So instead of starting, I guess he would have started tomorrow. Andrew would have started tomorrow's game against the Rangers, Friday's game against the Rangers. Instead, he's going to now is scheduled to start on Sunday's game against the Rangers. I don't have a lot of cause for concern here. Zack Wheeler is, 34 years old. He has pitched like an ace all season long. He's pitched like an ace pretty much the entirety of his Phillies tenure. Of course, a little bit of, pause creeps into your head when somebody says shoulder or elbow or something like that. But I think Zack Wheeler has been pretty honest with the Phillies about when things are going well and when things aren't going well. Now, things have gone well way more than they've gone not well for Wheeler. But we've seen this over Wheeler's tenure where, you get into like August and into the dog days of summer and he says, hey, I need an extra day, or hey, I want to go on normal rest, or whatever the case may be. He's been pretty upfront and honest about the Phillies about how his arm is feeling, how his shoulder's feeling, how his body's feeling. I'm not super concerned. I get it. Like a little bit of doubt creeps into your head because you start to say shoulder or you say elbow or things like that. And I will say this, like, has Zack Wheeler been himself? Maybe not, but it just goes to show you how good himself is when Zack Wheeler is on his best. Here are Zack Wheeler's last 4 starts since July 12th. 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 6 strikeouts against the Padres. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 10 strikeouts against the Red Sox. 5 2/3, 4 earned runs, 8 strikeouts against the Yankees. 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 10 strikeouts against the Tigers. So over those last 4 starts, it is 23 2/3 innings pitched. It's 13 earned runs. That's a 4.94 ERA. So like numerically, has he been himself? No, he hasn't. But he still has also struck out 34 hitters in less than 24 innings, which is just over a 13 strikeouts per 9 number in those 4 starts. Now, the velocity's been down a little bit. It was down against the Tigers yesterday. His yearly average, Saturday, take 3. His yearly average on his fastball is about 96.2. He was at about 96. But he maxed out at 97.5. He was somewhere between 94 and 97 most of the day. I understand, like, it's not been his flashiest of starts. He had a complete game against the Reds on the 12th, or the start prior, and that's why I used those last 4 starts. He's been an ace all season long, so I understand that like numerically the ERA has not been as strong as it's been, but the strikeout numbers are still there, so he's still getting results. He's just giving up a little bit more hard contact. He's giving up a little bit more runs than he had been in, like June and July when he was like practically unhittable, or in May and June, I should say, when he was like practically unhittable. Andrew, any concern for you with the knowledge that he, is saying that he's got a little bit of shoulder fatigue, maybe a little bit of stiffness, a little bit of soreness? I gave you the numbers. Obviously, the earned run stuff, it's almost a 5 ERA over those 23 2/3 innings pitched. Strikeout numbers still good. Mm-hmm. What's your feel about this heading into this weekend? Now thinking he's going to get pushed back at least 2 days, maybe more, but we'll see what happens.
To be honest, I don't have any concern, really. He's a professional athlete. He knows his body better than anyone else. So if he's going up to somebody and saying, hey, I don't feel right, I just need, to skip a start. The fact that he's playing on Sunday and it's not a week from then.
For now, right?
Or 2 weeks from now.
We should say for now. Because if he reevaluates and he's still sore, they may bump him.
Things can happen.
Sure.
But, the first initial signs are like, hey, we're just skipping a day. To me, that's nothing to be too overly, worried about. Like I said, he knows his body best. Mm-hmm. He knows what he needs. I mean, he's been pitching all season long. Like you said, there are going to be times when you're going to be a little sore.
Sure.
Even professional athletes get a little sore. So he just needs it that day. So let's see how it goes. Let's see what happens Friday. Let's see if there's any reevaluation. And a pushback. But I mean, if we don't hear anything and he comes out Sunday, even if Sunday he doesn't play his best, if he's still out there and finishes and goes through 6, I don't think that there's any room for concern.
Yeah. So they said he was throwing. He had a catch, which totally unrelated. But we've got time. I want to ask you: are you a play catch guy or are you a have a catch guy? Ooh. I am staunchly have a catch.
That's a great question. Have a catch. Play catch is weird.
It sounds weird, but a lot of people use it. And I have had, now I wonder if it's a regional thing, because I've seen a lot of people, when I went to college, college is like a melting pot of everybody, right? So a lot of people that were from Pittsburgh and into the Midwest were play catch people. A lot of people in the Northeast area were have a catch.
Yeah.
And my thought process with that, and we'll get back to Wheeler in just a second, my thought process with that has always been, when I play a game, the object of the game, whatever that I'm playing, right? The object is to win.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a win in the action of throwing. If me and you are just tossing the ball back and forth, getting our arms loose, I don't think there's any win. I don't win if I throw the ball harder than you or farther than you. Yeah. We're having a catch, right?
Having a catch. I and Dante's saying it too. I'm want to go throw the ball. I want to go throw around.
Yeah.
I'll even say something like that. I never mutter play catch.
You want to throw? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
weird. Have a catch? You want to throw?
And you're so right, because if you're playing, you're playing a game, and there's a result in a game, like who wins, who loses. It's like you want to go play baseball, like you want to go play a game,
you want to go play Monopoly.
You want to, yeah. I would never say play a catch.
I have always been a have a catch guy.
Yeah, have a catch.
But I think because do you play long toss? Because anytime you ever get long toss, you want to go long toss?
Yeah.
Like you want to stretch the arm out, you go long toss?
Yeah.
You don't play long toss.
You want to go play batting cage?
Right. You want to play BP?
Who's saying that?
I've always felt the play catch thing was weird.
Yeah.
But I've heard a lot of people say it. And I don't mean this as as a disparaging thing. The only reason I bring it up is because in the tweet that Matt Gelb put out, he used the phrase play catch.
Play catch.
And I've never been a play catch guy.
All right, Matt Gelb.
Anyway, back to Wheeler. Yeah, my concerns are very minimal. Mm-hmm. Like, if he was saying that he was having the tinglies in his fingers or numbness in his elbow, we'd be like, all right, that's not good.
Yeah.
Because usually that kind of stuff leads to, elbow fatigue, which then leads to bigger and worse things. Shoulder soreness, I think you can live with. Shoulder tightness, and is there an impingement or something? Like, my concerns are minimal. And as you said, if he makes his start on Sunday, they may be, especially considering they're off tomorrow, if the guys that are going to start Friday and Saturday, which my guess would be it'll be Sanchez and Luzardo.
Yeah.
If it's going to be Sanchez and Luzardo, if they can give you 13 innings between the two of them, and you have a pretty fresh bullpen heading into Sunday, they may say, hey, Zach, give us 5.
Yeah.
If you go out and give us 5 good innings, maybe we'll get you into the 6th, see what happens.
Yeah.
Don't press yourself. Don't get overly, especially if you're not feeling it. Let us know. If you can give us 5, throw 75 pitches, we'll call it a day. We'll reevaluate.
Definitely.
I'm not, if he skips his start on Sunday, then we'll have another conversation. But right this second, I go, it's 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, starting pitchers, and all athletes, they live off of consistency and repetition, and if he's nursing something like a shoulder, more likely he's not going to be throwing anything, he's not going to be doing anything like working out or something like that. So, if he goes in and he gives you 5 and it's, it looks, civilian, it doesn't look great, but he's still, and he comes out of that game, nothing,
if he gives you 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, stuff looks good, got hit around a little bit. Yeah. Fatigue set in, I have no problem.
Yeah, it's just because he hasn't had the time during the week to prepare himself for that game.
If the velocity's sizably down, 0.2 miles an hour,
that's
not a whole lot for me.
But if he's throwing 90 minus,
if it's a mile and a half down, then maybe we start to have if he's sitting 94 as opposed to 96.
Oh yeah,
then we start to have a conversation. But right this second, my concerns are very, very minimal.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned about it.
All right, that's our Ace Hardware temp check segment, of course, brought to you by our friends over at Ace Hardware. Find them at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project today. Ranger with a shutdown second inning as well. So it's 0-0 in the bottom of the second. Harrison Bader goes down looking. This is a good pitch. It's up a little bit. I thought it was closer to the knees than it was.
So
Probably
Tyler,
have to offer it that with 2 strikes.
Tyler, did you ever play Fortnite?
I am not much of a Fortnite guy. I've seen it a ton. Not my jam.
Yeah.
I'm not a battle royale player.
Yeah.
First of all, because I suck at them, and second of all, there's something about like lose once and you're out.
Yeah.
I don't love.
I forgot that Harrison Bader was the one who had the Fortnite bat.
Is that what it is?
He was the one that had the blue chug. So it's like that's how you heal. It's like the healing potion in the game is like the chug.
Sure.
And he was the one that had that bat with the liquid in it because that was like his like practice bat.
Okay.
I forgot that was him. So when I was on Twitter or something the other day and I was like, oh my God, it was Harrison Bader that had the bat.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I just saw him. He was just up, and it was like I just popped in my head.
Real quick before we hit the break, do you think there's any merit to because I've seen a lot of people talk about this. I don't know how I feel about it. Any merit to the Rob Thompson, we've won the first 2 games of the series, game 3 lineup thing? And what I mean by that is I've seen it a couple of times this year where the Phillies take games 1 and 2 of a 3-game series, and the game 3 lineup is very much a getaway day game after night game type of lineup. Now I get it, right? Day game after night game, your backup catcher is going to play. So Marshawn typically gets these starts.
Yeah,
but it's the type of lineup that you see sometimes where Weston Wilson gets the start. Like instead of one or 2 of these guys, it's all of them, right? Wilson, Kemp. This would have been a spot where before Bader, like Rojas would have started today. Do you think there's any validity to like Thompson knows it's a long season and is cool with 2 of 3 and is getting some of his bigger name guys off their feet?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be honest. I mean, you won the series already. Why not give your backup guys, an opportunity to get on the field and play some games? Because you might need them, and you got to give them some at bats. You got to get them out in the field. So yeah, I mean, if you can give those guys a chance, long season, like you said, then let them have that rest. Rest is crucial.
Now, we get to end of August into September, especially in the big series, like you play the Mets, you play the Brewers, you play the Dodgers still. I think at that point, your starters are playing.
You play them, yeah.
Like you need to win those games.
I definitely agree with that because like you're trying to standings and whatnot, you're trying to fight that. But yeah, a team like the Orioles where that even your fill-ins might have an opportunity to win a game, that's fine. Go ahead and do what you're doing. But like if this is a 3-game series with the Mets right now, and he was doing that, I'd be like, okay, wait a minute. We need to get the games on top of them so we can win that division. I wouldn't be sitting anybody.
Sure. All right, let's pause for just a moment. On the other side, we still have our Shady Rays Future is Bright segment. I want to talk about strength of schedule remaining for all of the NL playoff teams. We're going to get into. I made mention that it feels right now that like a lot of the National League top tier teams are having an issue somewhere in their team. Whether it be a little skid or is their rotation good enough? Is their bullpen good enough? Any one of those things. It seems like there's been a little bit of the armor is not entirely at 100% right now for a lot of these National League teams. We'll talk more about it on the other side. It's the PHLY Phillies podcast brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Our watch along continues right after this. All right, for the past 30 years, Golden Nugget Jewelers, have operated out of the very same location in the heart of Philadelphia. And that's why customers, not just from Philly, not just from PA, how about from Jersey and even Baltimore and New York City, have come to Golden Nugget Jewelry to find the perfect engagement ring or wedding band. If you're thinking about popping the question to your special someone, you want to make sure that you get the ring that they deserve. You want to make sure that you show your love, maybe not in a just in a I love you way, but also in that beautiful diamond way, the one that's going to last forever, the one that is going to be on your partner's hand for the rest of their lives. And that's why you go to Golden Nugget Jewelry, because they want to offer you incredible selection, awesome prices, and the most highly trained and dedicated staff to giving you a personalized shopping experience. And it's not just engagement rings and wedding bands. They also offer high-end watches, fashion jewelry, sparkling diamond necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and so much more. You'll receive a final cleaning and written appraisal with every engagement ring that you purchase. And you're going to know that the selection that you buy is of the highest quality, and it was handpicked by our friends over at Golden Nugget Jewelry for a specific reason. They're a family-owned and operated business since 1987, and they're right there on the corner of Chestnut and 8th Street in downtown Philly. You deserve an expert and the best price. That's where Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged, comes in. Visit goldennuggetjewelry.com today to learn more. All right, while we're at it, let me tell you about our friends over at Empire. We go from the jewelry pros to the flooring pros. And with Empire today, that's exactly what you're going to get, is flooring professionals who focus on flooring, and they're dedicated to making sure that the process for you is as flawless and as seamless as it can possibly be. Listen, we've all been to the big box store before. We know that sometimes it's difficult. You wander the aisles aimlessly. You don't get the help that you're looking for. And even if you do get the help, it's not exactly that help that you were hoping for, because it was somebody that was in outdoor or hardware, and they're just filling in for the fill-in. You want to make sure that when you are picking out the floors that are going to be in your home for, I don't know, the next decade, 2, 3, the life of your home, you want to get the experts that know exactly what they're talking about. And that's where Empire today comes in. They're going to help you pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space. You'll see exactly how it looks with your furniture in your home. You're going to get precise measurements taken and have all of your questions answered, so there are no surprises. And speaking of no surprises, Empire today offers you clear upfront and all-inclusive pricing, plus you can schedule installation as soon as the next day. So schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better at home. PHLY listeners can receive a $350 discount when they use the promo code PHLY. Restrictions do apply. Visit Empire today/PHLY for full details. All right, welcome back to the PHLY Phillies podcast, brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Tyler Zulli, Andrew Frazier with you today. All right, let's talk about the strength of schedule remaining in across Major League Baseball. Most teams have somewhere between 47 and 50 games left to play. There are right now, Miami, Washington, and Atlanta all have 50 games left. There are a handful of teams with 47 left, but every team is somewhere between 47 and 50 games left to play. Andrew, if I asked you, knowing kind of, I think you know pretty well what the Phillies schedule looks like over the next 2 months. Mm-hmm. If I had to ask you where the Phillies ranked in terms of strength of schedule, 30th being the easiest schedule, first being the hardest schedule, where do you think they rank in Major League Baseball?
I would say they probably have to be, I would say, on the easier end.
They're on the easier end of the middle 10. They're ranked 18th.
Okay.
So they have the 18th hardest strength of schedule left. The average strength of schedule for the Phillies, including today's game, is 496, which means that they are going to, on average, play the rest of their season against teams with losing records. Or when you put all of them together, it's losing records. Now, they do still have, and a lot of these games are coming up soon, 3 against the Rangers this weekend, 3 against the Reds, which I believe is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
I think
it might be back-to-back Rangers,
Monday,
Reds.
Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah.
And we'll double check that. But 3 against the Rangers, 3 against the Reds for 6. And then on top of that, they have 3 against the Dodgers still. They have to go out to L.A. in September.
Yeah.
Get ready for that, Andrew. 10-10 starts each night.
Ooh,
I know as somebody who works the morning show, you're not super excited about that. 3 against the Brewers, and 7 still to play against the New York Mets.
We're taking all 7.
So the Phillies right now have a 2.5-game lead, which is the largest lead that the Phillies or Mets have had against one another since early June. It's a 2.5-game lead currently. So they have all of those games still to play. And yes, it is 8, 9, 10 in Texas, 11, 12, 13 at home against, in Cincinnati. So a 6-game road trip. Actually, it may be a 10-game road trip, because I think after that they're in Washington. I think it's a 10-game road trip. 3 in Texas, 3 in Cincinnati, 4 in Washington. No days off.
Oh, man.
It's going to be
no days off?
No days off.
They don't get that Thursday off?
Nope. They're going to play 4-game series in Washington starting Thursday. Including, by the way,
Plus
next Sunday, an 11:35 first pitch. AM, not PM.
I'd be burnt out.
So 496 is the remaining strength of schedule. Now, they still have this game today against the Orioles. Mm-hmm. They also have 3 against the Twins. That's the last series of the year, which is weird to me. Like, I'm a big believer in, I like that the NFL has moved to you play a division team in week 18. And sometimes I know it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes it does.
Well,
and
yeah.
like, if the Eagles and, let's say, Commanders were to be battling it out for the division this year, and they play each other like week 17, week 18, that means something.
Oh, that's electric.
I think the Phillies should be playing the Mets or the Braves or somebody like that the final weekend of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
They're playing the Twins the final weekend of the year.
No, it should be the Mets.
Kind of weird, right?
Really should be the Mets.
But they have the Twins for 3, the Diamondbacks for 3, the Braves for 4, who I think at this point are pretty much cooked. They also have 6 against the Marlins, who have played much better baseball as of late. Mm-hmm. They're still on the outside of the postseason
doing well.
But they're playing some good ball right now.
Yeah.
And 7 against the Washington Nationals. I think those 7, not to be dramatic, but I think it's imperative you go like at least 5-2.
I agree.
Now, granted, if the 4 against the Nationals are soon, and then it's 3 in August, late August. So it's not like it's end of September where the games may not matter. Mm-hmm. I think it's imperative you take like 5 of 7 against the Nationals.
Oh, you need to.
But overall, it's about a 500 schedule for the Phillies. Now, the Dodgers have the easiest strength of schedule remaining, 474. They have 7 against the Rockies, 6 against the Diamondbacks. They play the Pirates for 3, the Orioles for 3, the Angels for 3, and I assume 1 against the Cardinals means they're playing the Cardinals today, would be my guess. Mm-hmm. The Padres are 29th. They are 478. They also have 7 against the Rockies. Now, it helps to play the Rockies. The Phillies have played all of their games against the Rockies. They are 7-0 against the Rockies. They did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
But they don't get the benefit of getting to play the Rockies in September. They have 7 against the Rockies, 3 against the White Sox, 3 against the Orioles, 3 against the Twins, 4 against the Diamondbacks. The Cubs are 28th. They're 481. Those are 3 teams that should make the National League postseason.
Can I ask you a question? And this is just me thinking, so the Phillies played the Rockies, and they won all their games. And then you talk about the Padres and how they are playing the Rockies, and that the Phillies don't get the benefit to having to play the Rockies in the back half of the season. Would you prefer a team to play easier teams in the back half of the season, or would you prefer them to play competitive games in the back half going into the playoffs?
It's an interesting question that I think you almost can't answer until you know how your team is currently playing at that juncture.
Yeah.
Like if the Phillies were heading into September scuffling, I'd be like, give me all the crap teams you can give me.
Yeah.
Because I understand
get some
that
momentum.
I know that like you're not going to play the Rockies and the bad teams in the postseason, but it's almost a get right portion of the schedule where it's like, all right, yes, you've not played well in August, but you have the Rockies, the Pirates, the fill in the blank, and you can beat those teams and get yourself right for the postseason.
Yeah.
If you're playing well, there's merit to say, give me the best to keep going after them, to A, create some separation between the two of them, and also B, to get an understanding of where you sit coming into the postseason.
Yeah.
I think it's a case-by-case scenario, but I also am a big proponent of, like, when you get into the postseason, I have always said, give me the easiest path to a championship.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And I know, like, Devon and I have had, we used to have fights on this, on the Fanatic airwaves about, like, give me I am a big proponent of, like, if I could play the local CYO team in the World Series, I would do it. And Devon has always had the thought process of, like, you want the best versus the best. Mm-hmm. Like, to be the best, you got to beat the best type of thing. I don't care if the Dodgers get upset. This might be an inside the park home run.
I think it is.
Nah, they got to the ball a little quickly.
Come
it's gonna
on.
be a triple. If the Dodgers get beat in the wild card round, that's great. If the Mets get beat in the DS, awesome. Like if I know people will say, well, you ran into the Diamondbacks and they were the team that you felt you should have beaten. It's a fair point. But if you offered me in 2023 the Diamondbacks or the Dodgers, I would have taken the Diamondbacks every day of the week.
Yeah.
Just so happened that they came into Philly and took 2 games in 6 and 7. That's on you. That's not because the it was in part because the Diamondbacks were hot, but like you were up 3-2 and 2-0. You should have won that series. That's on you. I think if you offer me the easiest path to the World Series, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
The year the Phillies beat the Rays in the World Series, I believe the 2 best teams in baseball that season, neither of them made the World Series. I don't think the Phillies were the best team in baseball or were the best team in the National League that year.
No.
The Cubs were the best team in the National League that year.
Yeah.
They won 97 games.
Yeah,
they were the best team in the National League all year. Didn't even get to the NLCS. The best team in baseball that season was the Angels. They were 162. They didn't get to the ALCS. They lost to the Red Sox in the ALCS and the ALDS. You offer me a chance to play the lesser of the 2 teams, I'm going to take it. I don't care if it's a coward's way out or not. I want to win a championship.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
So to answer your question, I think it's on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
Now, let's go to the other side of the conversation, strength of schedule. The Mets have the 6th most difficult schedule remaining at a 5-12. They still have 3 against the Brewers, the 7 against the Phillies, that of course the Phillies also have to play, 3 against the Cubs, 3 against the Tigers, 3 against the Padres, 3 against the Mariners. Now, they do still have 19 divisional games against the Marlins, Braves, and Nationals, which should help them. But they have the 6th hardest schedule in baseball. The Brewers, who are currently leading the National League Central, have the 5th hardest schedule in baseball at 5-14. Most difficult schedule in baseball left remaining belongs to a team that is on the outside looking in right now. It's going to be an uphill climb for the Cincinnati Reds. 5:25 left. 6 against the Brewers, 3 against the Blue Jays, 3 against the Dodgers, 3 against the Phillies, 5 against the Cubs, 3 against the Padres.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
That's tough.
Strength of schedule doesn't mean everything. But I think if you offered me 512 or 497, I'm going to take 497 all day.
Yeah.
Man, all right.
Schwarber is battling. He's been up there for a minute.
Trey Turner leadoff triple. Or excuse me, is it a triple with 1 out?
One out triple, yep.
Kyle Schwarber up. Trevor Rogers has thrown, he ends up striking out Schwarber. Trevor Rogers has thrown a lot of pitches to get through 2 2/3. He's at 48 pitches already today. He's kept the Phillies off the scoreboard, but a 1-out triple has them in business. That's a good pitch. Lefty change up.
That's a tough pitch,
That's a
man.
good pitch.
Had
Schwarber out on the front foot. That's a really good pitch.
It dropped at the perfect time.
Yep. All right, let's pause for a moment. On the other side, we still have to get to our Future is Bright segment, and I'm going to talk about one unit in particular who the Phillies are going to see quite a bit in the next couple of weeks. We'll see what happens as they get further and further into the season. It's the PHLY Phillies podcast brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. All right, after this commercial break, 30 minutes commercial free. I did that on purpose. We're going to go 30 minutes commercial free, just like it's my old school radio days. It is the PHLY Phillies podcast. We'll be right back after this. All right, let me tell you about our friends over at Cherry Hill Kia. If you're looking for the dealership with the best inventory and super low lease payments, it's KiaofCherryHill.com and Cherry Hill Kia. You can choose over 450 new Kias, including Tellurides, Sportages, K5s, Carnivals, Seltos, Souls, and so much more. They are the hottest automotive brand in the country for a reason. 7 of their models have received the 2025 Car and Driver Editor's Choice Award, and that's unbelievable considering that there are more than 450 models tested and only 20 models industry-wide receive the award. If you combine that with the best warranty in all of the automotive business, it's not or, it's and. 10 years, 100,000-mile powertrain, and 5 years, 60,000-mile bumper to bumper. You can't go wrong with a brand new Kia today. Stop in today, tell them PHLY sent you, and you'll get a $100 restaurant.com gift card just for taking a test drive or completing a trade-in appraisal. Listen, I know people buy Kias elsewhere. I just don't know why. Get home in your new Kia today, just minutes from all bridges, or available online 24/7 at kiaofcherryhill.com. All right, let's talk about one of our new friends here. That's Doodad Dental. Yes, our presenting sponsor of the PHLY Eagles Show. Listen, your smile says a lot about you. Let us introduce you to a team that helps you say exactly what you want to say with your smile. Meet the Doodad Dental Group. This team is trusted to care for one of our city's greatest athletes, the Philadelphia Eagles. They're now entering the 5th season as the official dentist of the Philadelphia Eagles. Dr. D and his team have proudly served Philadelphia and its fans for over 20 years, and they do it all, from robotic implant surgery and Invisalign to veneers, emergencies, and so much more. They're locally owned and operated. Dr. D is a proud graduate of North Penn High School and Temple University School of Dentistry. His commitment to the health and confidence of our community runs deep. Whether you're an MVP or a lifelong fan, this is the team that you want caring for your smile. Check them out at PhiladelphiaEaglesDentist.com and discover how you can smile like the birds.
Who dat? Do that.
That's right. Welcome back to the PHLY Phillies podcast. Tyler Zulli, Andrew Frazier, and of course, you along with us as well. Thanks so much for being a part of our watch along today. Phillies do not score. In the bottom of the third there, a one-out triple from Trey Turner. Kyle Schwarber strikes out. Bryce Harper grounds out. And we head into the top of the fourth. Still nothing.
Here we go.
That was an opportunity to put a run on the board.
That was. I mean, you got a guy on third, one out. You should be able to advance. Could not get it done. Tough pitch, though.
Yeah, it was a good pitch. So Futz brings up the point you and I were talking about, playing the lesser caliber team if it meant a championship.
Sure.
Says, won at the Jags in the first Super Bowl. So did I. The Patriots were the better team that year. Now, I will say this.
Oh, yeah, that's so right.
The Jags should have won that game.
Who was
Miles Jack.
Yeah.
I believe, was it a strip sack recovery? And he was ruled down.
Yeah.
And I think he was going to end up going in for a strip sack score. And I think it would have put the Jags up like 10 or 12 or something like that. The Jags should have won that game. Patriots end up doing what Tom Brady and the Patriots always do. And, of course, it was cool to get to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl and watch Nick Foles outduel Tom Brady.
Yeah. Why am I thinking Mark Sanchez was the quarterback for the Jags?
No, it was Blake Bortles.
Oh, Blake Bortles. That's right.
Blake Bortles that year.
Yeah, well, same person.
So that season, if you go back, if I gave you Blake Bortles' numbers without telling you it was Blake Bortles that year,
gosh, what a
you would be
cliff he
amazed
fell off of
at how good he was that season. What was that? That was what, the 2017 season?
It's 2017 season, yeah.
He threw for, and the funny thing is, that wasn't even his best year. He threw for 3,700 yards. He only had 21 touchdowns, but he threw for 3,700 yards that season and had a 85 quarterback rating out of 100.
Wow.
2015, they were 5-11. This dude threw for 4,400 yards and 35 touchdowns.
Wow.
I thought Blake Bortles was going to be really good.
What a strange year. Because you had Nick Foles, you had Case Keenum, you had Blake Bortles, and then you had Tom Brady. Like, what? What a strange year.
It was a weird year. It was a really weird year. So Ray Schumacher brings it up. We were just talking about it. One out with your two best hitters up.
Yeah, you have to score.
And you probably got to score there.
You have to score.
Because Rangers been pitching well. God, that type
ugly.
of base hit's so frustrating.
That's ugly.
First and second, nobody out now. So the first one was solid contact. That one, little bleeder. So here's the unfortunate part. We know how Rangers so good at fielding his position.
Oh,
being a lefty in that particular spot hurt him.
He just missed
because if he's right-handed, not only is he falling off to that side, but his glove is also on the left hand, which gives him a little bit extra extension.
Yeah.
Him being a lefty hurt him on that play.
It just tipped the
and he just
netting.
missed it.
Yeah.
Ranger, to me, might be the best fielding pitcher in all of baseball.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The Phillies have a really good fielding pitching group. Zack Wheeler won the Gold Glove last year. I would and I know Ranger didn't pitch enough to win it. Ranger's a better fielder than Zack Wheeler.
He would be Golden Glove, yeah.
Christopher Sanchez has become a really good defensive pitcher as well.
Mm-hmm.
Your top three all can field their position.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
It's really great to have.
Yeah. So, listen, it's like you have 9 fielders. You need to have somebody who can adequately field their position. You have 3 guys who are really, really good at it. All right, looks like the Orioles are going to break this game open. Yeah. That's 3 consecutive hits.
Right down the line.
That one was hit hard down the line. That's their 5th hit of the day, 3 in a row. Orioles up 1-0. Did you see the stat, by the way, Andrew, before the game started? So Ranger, I think, has made, is this his 17th start of the year, I believe it was. He's made 8 starts at home and 8 starts on the road. Ranger has a 4.91 ERA at Citizens Bank Park and a 1.94 ERA on the road this season.
That's outrageous.
That's you want to talk about reverse splits? That is a crazy reverse split.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Oh boy, it might be 4-0. Oh, it's not might 4-0. It is 4-0.
That is absolutely just.
Kobe Mayo obliterated that baseball.
That was a missile.
Just like that, man. You don't score it. Now, listen, I'm not saying you're going to score 4, but you don't score in the bottom of the 3rd. Comes back to bite you in the top of the 4th. A base hit, a bleeder.
Where he put that in the zone, too, man. It's a meatball.
Hey, if you can find... Actually, no, we don't even need to. It's right down. That's change up middle.
Yeah, he just gave it to him.
Even Kobe Mayo's hitting, what did we say? He's hitting 201 or something like that heading into the game. Even for a guy hitting 201.
A professional batter
is a professional hitter still.
Identify that. And yeah,
that's middle
Rip
change
the laces,
up right
man.
there. That was rough, man. All right, so let's get into our future is bright segment. Let's look on the bright side of things for just a little bit after this rough half inning from Ranger Suarez. Of course, our future is bright segment, as always, is brought to you by our friends over at Shady Rays. Get in on the best deal in polarized lenses, 35% off a pair of polarized sunglasses by using the promo code PHLY at checkout. Let's talk about our future is bright segment. Now, this is going to be updated a little bit because the Reading Fightin' Phils also had a day game today, where I believe they are currently leading the New Hampshire Fisher Cats 4-1 heading into the top of the 5th. And obviously, we're not going to be able to update the numbers that I have just yet. But for a guy that has struggled offensively this season, this has been a really productive week for Phillies number 2 prospect, Aiden Miller. It's probably been one of his best weeks of the year at Reading. He now has an 8-game hitting streak. It was 7 heading into the season. So far today, he's scored a run. He's 1 for 3. He has struck out twice, but he's 1 for 3 in today's game. And he became the first member of the Reading Fightin' Phils, because he stole a bag today, became the first member of the Reading Fightin' Phils with 40 or more stolen bases in a season since 2009. So we're talking about 16 seasons. He now has 40 stolen bases on the year. Heading into today's game, he had a 7-game hitting streak, and here was his slash line: 423, 531, 654, and an OPS 1.185. I know there's been a lot of conversation about Aiden Miller and the fact that Aiden Miller offensively has struggled this year, and the numbers aren't great. He's only hitting 235 this year. The OPS has gotten better, especially with the week. He's now up to 731. It's been an okay year for Aiden Miller. And I have to find myself reminding myself 2 things. One, it's not necessarily about numerics and the stats. It's about the process. And B, you are still talking about a 21-year-old prospect who is on the younger side of AA. Would I like to see Aiden Miller hitting 260-ish? Sure, of course I would. But I will say this. I think that Aiden Miller is still, in my opinion, I'm very high on Aiden Miller. I think he's going to be a good major league player when his career is all said and done. Is he going to be an elite level player? That still remains to be seen. But I think that there's been a lot of disparaging remarks about Aiden Miller because of the fact that he's not hitting the ball all that well. And numerically, you are correct. He's, again, 230. The OPS has gone in the right direction, but it's still only at 731, which, funny enough, is the fourth best in the lineup today for the Fightin' Phils. I still believe in Aiden Miller, and I still believe that he is going to be a good major league player at some point in the not so distant future. And I think this week is a big, big week for Miller to kind of get back on track after, numerically he has struggled a little bit this year so far. So a really good sign for Aiden Miller. He's now stolen his 40th bag of the year. He is a threat on the base pass. He's a good defender. They have maintained that he is a shortstop. You get the bat going just a little bit. Jake Starr, when he joined us about a month ago now, the voice of the Reading Fightin' Phils said, the ball is coming off his bat a little bit harder in recent weeks. It was a slow start. He's starting to pick it up a little bit in terms of both, statistics and in the sense his average exit velocity and things like that have gotten much better. I still believe that Aiden Miller can be a very good player. And I think this week was a turning point for him. Hopefully he can get going, in the not so distant future. And that is our Future is Bright segment, brought to you by our friends over at Shady Rays. Again, use the promo code PHLY for 35% off a pair of polarized sunglasses. You can find out why, 300,000 people have rated them 5 stars, including myself. I have a pair that I wear most days. You can get them in sportier look, the sleeker look, the classic look, the aviator look. Head on over to shadyrays.com to find out for yourself why 300,000 people have rated Shady Rays 5 stars. All right, we got about 20 minutes left in the show. Phils trail 4-0. It's in the blink of an eye, the Phillies trail 4-0. Rangers just hit a batter.
Right in the bum.
This is kind of devalued quickly, this start.
Yeah. He's having a tough go here in this 4th inning, trying to get this 3rd out.
He's now up to 71 pitches.
Jackson Holiday's fighting.
Yeah, we talked about Rogers was throwing a lot of pitches. Rangers now throwing a lot of pitches. He's up to 71 pitches. That ball's hit hard too. It's all right.
71.
Right at Bader. Hung up just enough. But rough inning for Ranger Suarez in the 4th. Exit velocities ranged. This is an inning. This happened, Andrew. Exit velocities in that game ranged from 108.5, the home run that Mayo hit, to 31.9, the ball that Rushman hit that ended up trickling through and being a base hit.
Yeah. Still a lot of time left. I mean, we're in the 4th.
Mayo's home run, 421 feet, no doubter, 30 of 30 ballparks. That was a home run. Gunnar Henderson, that inning, the base hit was 103.4. Jeremiah Jackson, 103.9. Gave up a lot of hard contact in that inning.
Yeah, no, he definitely did. They just got to find a way to score here. Get one on.
And I would feel a little bit better if they had scored in the bottom of the 3rd.
Oh, if they had scored that triple with Trey?
Yeah.
Definitely.
If it's 4-1, you tack on one more this inning.
Yeah.
You cut the lead in half. You're feeling a little
chipping away. Better. All you got to do is chip.
Yeah, just listen. There's still a lot of time left. It's only the bottom of the 4th. You still have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to get things going.
Next inning will probably be Rangers last.
I would imagine he probably
gives
pitches
already.
To get him through 5.
Yeah, you can't. That's a lot of pitches right now.
All right, so let's talk about some of the other teams in baseball, because we have said this before on this show, Andrew. I think there are deficiencies for a lot of the premier teams in the National League. We've talked about the Phillies' deficiencies. There are times where the Phillies' bats go cold. And inconsistencies in the offense has been and may continue to be the Phillies' biggest inconsistency heading into the stretch run.
Yeah.
I think they've solidified their bullpen with Duran, of course. And if Robertson provides you anything, now with Jose Alvarado coming back, I think you've got arms that you're comfortable with for the remaining 47 games. I think I wouldn't use Alvarado in the 9th, but I would use Alvarado in the 6th, 7th, and 8th. I think he's going to pitch a lot, and I would use him a lot.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting him for the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, exhaust him while you still have him. I don't want to see him take away from anyone's opportunity because I don't want a pitcher to get cold.
No, I agree with you. I think the slotting is still important because you have to prepare for no Alvarado in the postseason.
Yeah.
So Kerkering slot's important. Strom slot's important. Obviously, Duran's the closer. But like Banks and probably where I envision Alvarado pitching mostly is in between Banks and Strom from the left side.
Yeah.
And probably in between Robertson and Strom in the like pecking order of the bullpen.
Yeah.
So, namely, like the number 2 lefty for the rest of the season and the number 4 pitcher out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
But I think you got to use them.
You have to use them. I mean, yeah, you definitely have to use him, but you have to find a way strategically to use him without like hurting anyone else's development.
Sure, because you have to prepare for life without him in the postseason.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think that the bullpen is as solidified as it possibly could be for being as horribly shaky as it was for quite some time.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, more like barroom hypothetical type of question.
Sure.
Does Jordan Romano make the postseason roster?
Last year?
No, this year.
Oh, no.
I'm not sure he's because here. So
I don't think he's making
so
it.
you're going to carry 26. It's going to be 13 and 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who are the locks for the pitching staff for a 3 or 5 game series? Wheeler.
Yep.
Sanchez.
Yep.
Suarez.
Yes.
Luzardo.
Yes.
Nola is. I think Nola. Right.
Nola definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so Nola. That's 5.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go to your bullpen. Duran.
Mm-hmm.
Kerkering.
Mm-hmm.
Strom.
Yep.
Banks.
Yep.
That's 9. Robertson.
Yeah.
That's 10. So you've got 3 slots for Walker, Romano, Lazar. Who am I missing? Like Ron Hell's not going to make the team. I don't think Robert, when he comes back, makes the team.
Maybe Romano does make it.
So Romano may make the postseason roster.
He might be in it, yeah.
Is he going to pitch is the question.
I don't think so. It would be odd to see him come in.
Like, if Romano's pitching, my guess is you are either up 8 or down 5.
Yeah.
Right? So I have to think that he's going to make the postseason roster, but I don't expect him to throw many in.
I wouldn't expect to see him actually.
So then we're thinking the last 3 go to Walker, Romano. Who's last?
Who are we missing?
Who are we missing?
I'm looking up right now.
So that means then Lazar's making the postseason roster, right? I think he should.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we said Banks. We said Duran.
I guess then it's going to be Ross. Ross would be the last
Joe
guy.
Ross. Yeah, that's who we were missing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ross would be the last guy.
Yeah.
Because unless they go Seth Johnson, which I don't think they're going to, I think it would be Joe Ross.
Yeah, I think Joe Ross.
All right, so that's your 13 that you're going to carry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Romano will make it, but he will see little time.
Very little time.
Very little time.
Yeah, I think big up or big down.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some of the other, because we were talking about deficiencies, right?
Yep.
And I think the bullpen is as good as it's possibly going to get once Robertson comes into play. The offensive inconsistencies may still rear their ugly heads. You see some series, like the first 2 games in this series, where game 1, it's just slugfest from your best players. Game 2, Marsh, Kepler, like the B-tier guys pick up the slack. Good win. I think last night was a really good win. Today, you see them struggle.
You know what? Just pause you real quick because WB Scotty said it on here. No Painter?
I don't think so.
So you don't think he's going to come up?
I don't think Painter pitches in the big leagues this year.
Okay.
He was, and again, I don't care about Painter's numbers as much as I care about the process.
Yeah.
Like if Painter is working on, like, let's say he has a start where they go, okay, I want to see minimum 25 sliders, right?
Yeah.
And he leaves a slider out over the plate and he gives up a home run. Okay, whatever. They're working on stuff. I don't care about the numbers as much as I care about the process. Last night was not a good start for him either way, process or numbers. I'm not going to take one start. Like he had a start a couple nights ago where he was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so certain Painter's a part of the playoff roster.
Okay. And another guy that Anthony's very high on and hopes that he's on the roster, Gage Wood.
We talked about Gage Wood a couple weeks ago when he got drafted. I don't think any of the guys that they selected are going to be on a postseason.
Just not ready yet.
I do, however, believe if either of the guys that any of the guys that they drafted this year were to make the major league roster at any point, I think that the kid they drafted out of Baylor has a better chance than Gage Wood.
Okay.
Gage Wood does.
Okay.
Injury, he's a starter, right? Like the dude they drafted out of Baylor was a true reliever. Has pitched in high leverage situations before. I think if they were to bring somebody out of that grouping, the guys that they just drafted,
sure,
I think that kid out of Baylor might be the one that it would be.
Okay.
I really just don't have a good feel for Painter right now.
I mean, I'm there kind of with you. We haven't been really seeing much from him yet. One or two good starts here and there again, is not like making me feel confident about bringing him up.
I really don't care about the numbers all that much. I care about what's his stuff look like. I care about the process. I care about, is he locating well? Like, is he giving up hard contact that's finding ways through? Or is he giving up soft contact that's finding ways through? Like, what's the BABIP? Like, I think the metrics I care about more than the actual just like, here's his ERA, here's his, whip, right? Yeah. I think there's more to it for a guy that they believe the world in. I don't, the way that they've talked about Painter is like he's got to earn a promotion.
Yeah.
And if the way that to earn a promotion, I think, is numbers, which is not how I feel, but I do kind of get the sense that that's how they're feeling about it.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that Painter's on the postseason roster this year.
And this is just, us talking right now, but, I get he's battling coming back from injury, the Tommy John, all the surgery, all of that stuff. My fear is this, and, you can crucify me if, this is crazy to say, but I'm just afraid that we over-evaluated him and that we didn't trade him when we could have for like somebody who could have really helped us for a bat. I
am as trade prospect for proven as you possibly could get. He is one of the very few prospects that I'm willing to fall on the sword with if he's not the guy that you think he is.
And you and a lot of other people have that sentiment, and I understand. I'm just afraid that we're going to get down the road and he's not going to be the player that we all expect him to be. And we're going to look at
it's possible
we could have gotten to the World Series if we had traded him for Stephen Kwan.
Any of those outcomes are certainly possible. But I don't think moving the highest rated prospect you've had since Dominic Brown.
Yeah.
And listen, I get it, right? You point to Dominic Brown and you go, Dominic Brown was a bust. But I am willing to fall on the sword with Andrew Painter specifically because I do still think he is that, at his top end, he's a legit top of the rotation guy.
Yeah, and you have to give him the benefit of the doubt because he is coming back from the Tommy John. It's going to take him some time. So if his performances aren't there right now, they will be in the future.
If we're at this point next season, then I think maybe you could. I understand doubt creeping into your mind a little bit. But you're right. He's coming off the surgery. They really slow played him.
Yeah.
I again, and he's still 21 himself, right? Like he's still young.
He's got a lot of time.
Still a kid, right?
Yeah.
I just think that giving up on him now would be really foolish.
Yeah. I tend to agree on that side of it as well. I just, I don't want to be 2 years, 3 years down the road looking back
again,
at
if you're 3 years
wow,
down the road
if we just made that one move.
If you're 3 years down the road and we're having like legitimate problem conversations, sure, you're going to play hindsight 2020 type of game.
Yeah.
I think just right now, I'm not. I don't even want to say I'm not quite. Like, I am pretty full bore, still belief of the belief that Andrew Painter is going to be legit.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's get to some of the other teams, because this is the one team in particular that I wanted to point out was the New York Mets. The Mets. So when we talked about the Mets in the preseason, in the offseason, what was our big concern for the Mets? How does their starting pitching depth look?
Yeah.
Because Quintana walked, Severino walked. They re-signed Minaya, but he was injured to begin the year. They signed Clay Holmes, who had been a reliever his entire career, asked him to be a starter. Kodai Senga was coming off the injury a year ago. They ended up signing Frankie Montas. They brought in Griffin Canning, right? The question was like, what is their starting rotation going to look like? And for April and May and the early portion of June, it was like, wow, man, the Mets rotation's really proven us wrong. They've pitched really well. They're getting quality starts from Canning and from McGill and from Clay Holmes. Like, their starting rotation's been way better than we expected. Good for them. Well, not good for them in Phillies terms, but like, they've proven us wrong, and I have to give them credit.
Yay, congratulations.
Andrew, did you know since June 6th, outside of David Peterson, who's been very good this year, he was an all-star, I have to give him a lot of credit, he's pitched really well. Outside of David Peterson, no Mets starter since June 7th has completed the 6th inning. The 6th inning.
Ooh.
You have not gotten 18 outs from a Mets starter not named David Peterson since June 7th.
Yay, good for
tomorrow
them.
Is August 7th. We're talking about 2 months.
2 months.
Without anybody but David Peterson. Let me give you the numbers.
Oh, man.
Kodai Senga's last 6-inning outing was June 6th against the Rockies. Clay Holmes was June 7th against the Rockies.
Yeah.
Now, some of the guys I'm about to bring up have been on the IL. Tyler McGill, who I think he might miss the rest of the year, right? It's on the 60 since June 14th.
Oh, yeah.
June 3rd
60,
versus the
definitely.
Dodgers. Griffin Canning, who hasn't pitched since June 26th, June 4th against the Dodgers. Frankie Montas hasn't done it yet this year. Sean Minaya hasn't done it yet this year. As a team, since June 7th, now we're talking about just the 6th inning. So June 7th till now, 2 months worth of 6 innings. What are we thinking about? Probably 50 games or so. Well, in fact, I'll give you the number. It's 48 games for the Mets between June 7th and right now.
Nice little sequence that just happened. Oh, did he get? Okay, good job. Weston Wilson,
runners at the corners,
Marshawn,
nobody out.
Marshawn found the gap in between to right field, and yeah.
Base hit from Marshawn, runners at the corners, top of the lineup about to come up? Or is it top of the lineup?
Top of the lineup.
I would assume Marshawn's hitting ninth,
Marshawn's
right?
ninth, I think.
Yeah, so Turner, Schwarber, Harper with runners at the corners.
All right, here we go. We got a chance.
As you brought up, time to chip away, right?
Yeah.
All right, so since June 8th, Mets starters in the 6th inning of 48 possible innings have pitched 10 2/3.
Wow.
The bullpen, 37 1/3 innings pitched in the 6th inning.
Man,
that means the bullpen has pretty much pitched almost all of the innings in the 7th, all of the innings in the 8th, and all of the innings in the 9th.
They're going to be so gassed.
Andrew, we talked about they made a lot of good moves. They got Helsley. They got Rogers.
Yeah.
They have Diaz already. You know, I spoke highly of Jose Budo, but they gave up Budo in the deal. That might fall. That's a base hit. There you go.
There
Phil's on the
we
board.
go. Oh, you're a little bit ahead of me.
Dude, the Mets bullpen is going to be burnt
Oh, yeah.
by the time they get to the end of September.
Good. I hope it is. I hope it's cooked.
So for as good as the bullpen can
Fried.
be, which it can be really, really good, right?
Yeah.
2 legit closers. Rogers, legit setup man. They got some good stuff in the back end of that bullpen. You know, I guess their goal is to make it a 6-inning game and then send it to those 3. But if they're pitching every night or every other night between now and September, they might be gassed by the postseason.
I think so.
Let's take a look at some of the appearance numbers for these guys. Edwin Diaz this year so far, who's been lights out, 1.4 ERA. has made 44 appearances so far. He's going to get to 60. Easy. He might get to 70 the way that they're pitching. So Edwin Diaz has appeared in 44 appearances. Tyler Rogers, who they just acquired from the Giants, has already pitched in 56 games so far this season. Ryan Helsley, who they just acquired from the Cardinals, his next appearance will be his 40th appearance. Now, I know you're going to get old school fans that sit here and say, well, back in my day, guys used to pitch 85 times. Dude, 75, 80 appearances from a reliever's a lot of appearances.
That's a lot. Yeah.
It's almost half the season. It's basically pitching every other day for the entire year.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
Their bullpen's going to be pretty cooked if they keep throwing at the rate that they're throwing. They're going to need a stretch where somebody other than David Peterson can give them a 6 2/3 type of start. Like, Senga's legit. His stuff is filthy. But he hasn't pitched many innings this year. They're kind of walking him. Wow, where'd that miss? They're kind of walking him through, recovery, and he's still kind of recovering. The Mets starting rotation is going to need to get it together, or their bullpen's going to be taxed by the postseason.
Yeah.
But it's not just the Mets. The Chicago Cubs don't have any starting pitching right now either.
No.
Mike Soroka just hit the 10-day IL.
Come on, Schwartz.
They're worried about elbow problems. They're worried about they might have missed something in the physical when they traded for him.
Yeah.
The doomsday fan for the Cubs is sitting here saying they might have gotten 2 2/3 innings out of their big deadline deal. Shota Imanaga is a really good arm.
Yeah.
Matthew Boyd's having a heck of a season. But right this second, if the Cubs head into the postseason and you had a 3-game series, Imanaga pitches game 1, Matthew Boyd pitches game 2, who starts game 3 for them? Is it Jameson Taillon, who's made 10 starts this year? Are they going to go with a bullpen game and start like a Ben Brown and figure things out? Does Colin Ray get the start? The Cubs' deficiency is their starting rotation.
Yeah.
So if the Phillies have inconsistencies, and they do, it's objective to say they have inconsistencies. The Cubs' rotation's a problem. The Mets' rotation right now is a problem. The Dodgers, we've talked about plenty. They're just the walking wounded right now, and they could get healthy, but right now they're like the walking wounded. Is the most consistent, complete team in the National League right now the Milwaukee Brewers?
Man, they're a scary team.
It might be.
They're a scary team.
They're 69-44. They have right now the best record in all of baseball. They are plus 126 run differential. Andrew, I'll ask you this as we wrap up today's show.
Yeah.
How many teams do you think, let's start with the National League and then we'll go to the whole league. How many teams right now do you think have given up less runs than the Brewers 439 this season?
Oh, I don't know.
In the National League, it is 0.
Wow.
They are the best. I'm sorry, it's 1. I lied. San Diego's given up 436.
Okay.
So they've given up 3 less runs. In the National League, it's 1 team. In the American League, not a single one. Nope, I lied. Texas, 404. Yes, and by the way, meant to do this earlier in the show. Thanks so much for watching. If you're on our streaming platforms, whether it's Roku or Samsung, head on over to allphly.com to watch the rest of the show. We are officially in overtime. That's my bad. Sorry about that, Andrew. Should have done that quite some time ago.
No, you're good.
So
you got it.
The Brewers right now have given up more runs than just 2 teams in all of baseball. They have scored 565, which puts them, middle of the pack. So the Dodgers have scored more. The Cubs have scored more. The Jays have scored more. The Red Sox have scored more. The Yankees have scored more. So let me rephrase that. Middle of the pack in terms of the playoff contenders. The Brewers right now, man, might be one of the more complete teams in all baseball. Maybe the complete team in baseball, which is crazy to say. I would have never said that heading into the season.
Yeah, they're my big worry team.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm most afraid of them in the playoffs.
Interesting.
Yeah. They're just they're complete right now. They're playing on all cylinders.
Let's take a look, and then we got to get out of here, and I appreciate everybody joining us today. Let's take a look at their pitching, because I'm big on pitching.
Yeah, of course.
Pitching wins championships, in my opinion. That's my old school, like, defense wins championships in the NFL. Pitching wins championships, I still believe. I know you got to score runs to win games, but I'm a huge believer in pitching wins championships. Freddie Peralta, 3.03 ERA.
Yeah.
Quinn Priester, 3.15 ERA. Jose Quintana, who's been back since injury, 3.5 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
The bullpen, in terms of, like, we've talked about them just like throwing smoke. Abner Uribe, 2.03. Jared Koenig, 3.6. Grant Anderson, 3.2. Nick Mears, 2.7. Trevor McGill, 2.1. Aaron Ashby, who I believe has been activated fairly recently, good lefty, 2.02. Do you want to talk about shortening the game?
Yeah.
That's a team where you get through 6 and you're losing. Their bullpen's gonna beat you.
Yeah.
So right now, and we'll talk more about the standings on Friday. Right now, the Brewers would have the bye in the National League, as would the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers are 66 and 48. So the Phillies would host the third wild card team, which right now is the San Diego Padres. And the Cubs and Mets would play.
Okay.
That would be the National League right now. The American League, meanwhile.
So no pitching versus no pitching.
The Mets and the Cubs versus a lot of really good good starting pitching.
A lot of good starting
versus
pitching.
An elite bullpen.
Yes.
Interesting
matchups.
And then in the American League, the Blue Jays are the number one.
They're still so surprising.
Playing some great baseball.
Crazy.
Man. And then the Tigers would get the 2 seed bye. The Houston Astros would host the New York Yankees.
Okay.
And
that'd be
the
fun.
Red Sox and Mariners would be the wild card round.
Those are fun.
Yeah. That's if the season ended today. The playoffs would be they'd be set.
I would like to see those matchups.
So we'll talk more about it on Friday, and again as the season continues to unfold. Thank you so much to everybody for being a part of our watch along today. Extra half an hour almost added on to today's show. We got through 5 innings, hour and a half through 5 innings. Phil's down 4-1. That last inning again, Andrew, man, first and third, nobody out. They got 1 run.
I know.
So they've stranded now 4 runners over the last 2 innings. Bryce Harper hit into a double play. Kyle Schwarber struck out. That's tough, man. That's your 2 best hitters. This one feels like it's trending towards a loss with chances that they've had in the last 2 innings.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a chance, but yeah.
Yeah, a lot of baseball still 4 offensive innings left to play, but that I think they had a good chance there. Rangers still pitching into the 6th. We'll see how this one fares. We'll be back on Friday for our next live installment of the PHLY Phillies podcast. We will check in on the Ranger series. We'll talk about the end of this game and more. Thank you so much for everybody for being a part of today's watch along. Really appreciate you. Big thank you to Andrew Frazier for producing today's show as well and co-hosting. We'll be back again on Friday, 1 o'clock. I'm Tyler Zulli. Thank you so much for being a part of it. We will talk to you on Friday afternoon right here on the PHLY Phillies podcast. We'll see you then.
We all silly like the mayor.